Despair, Future Foundation, Girls, Doki Doki Literature Club. What do they all have in common? Murder.
Yeah, I guess girls do murder. Hi, I'm the girl murdering, Annie.
And I'm the one who's died several times watching this series, except Doki Doki Literature Club. That was the one that's not like the others, Minty.
And this is Fun Untitled, where we serve every podcast with an FU. Now, if you're confused by that intro, I don't blame you. I have no idea where Minty was going.
What I was going was with listing things that make me sad.
Girls.
Again, not Doki Doki Literature Club. That was pretty interesting.
We are going to rank the Dongarongpa cases. I think we should start from worst to best.
Well, more like I'm ranking it, and Annie's gonna give the opinion on my ranking.
Yeah, because there's only one true case I care about. Hand grasping the sun.
It'd also take too long for both of us to go over all 10. Although we did do that for the One Piece, but this will be more fun.
I mean, the Wano piece is like, yeah, this character's bottom, moving on. This one we're like, let's shit on the worst case. And here's why you're wrong of what's the worst case is.
So Annie, explain what Dongarongpa is and why, or how we got into it.
Y'all saw Squid Game? Because according to everyone on the internet, Squid Game is basically just Dongarongpa. I've been wrong, but that's what people say on the internet. So, 16 students enter a building / island / whatever, and only 6 may leave. And they have to basically kill each other if they want to get off the island. If they can get away with murder during the class trial, then you're scot-free. But if you get convicted during the class trial, you get killed along and you join heaven with your victim. Heaven is a place on earth.
So, we saw season 1, then Game Grumps played Danganronpa 1 and 2, then Annie got really into Danganronpa 2, and wanted to do an episode based on 1 and 2's 10 total cases.
9.
No, 10. We're doing the Jungkook killing his sister one.
Oh,
it's on the list.
God. Why is the Jungkook at the end of Dongarongpa 2 not considered the 11th case then?
Because I make the rules. I made the rankings.
Also, if it's not obvious, there's going to be spoilers.
Oh yeah, and we don't know anything about Danganronpa. Well, I don't know anything about Danganronpa 3 or V3 or whatever the naming is.
I want you to know that when V3 came out, that's when I first learned about Dongarongpa 1 and 2. So it's been, I think, 5 years before I was like, yes, I do want to have brain rot over this.
Really? Holy shit.
Yeah, I remember V3 came out and I was asking my friend because there was no English translation of anything, just Japanese. Like, oh, what happened in V3? And then I read about Dongarongpa, the plot of the second one, and we already watched the first one anime.
Oh, I remember you buying like Dongarongpa 3 like blind boxes.
Hell yeah. And I got my girl Seiko. I was gonna say Sakura, and I was like, no, that's the hardest video game.
Oh, Sakura?
Yeah.
Sakura.
No, her name is Seiko Kimura. Love that girl.
Anyway, starting off from the worst to the best. In my opinion, the worst case of Danganronpa is Danganronpa 2 Case 4 when Gundam killed Nekomaru in the Funhouse. The whole case is based on the fact that there is a central room that's supposed to quote-unquote connect 2 totally different buildings, and a part of the mystery is figuring out that these 2 separate buildings are actually just on top of each other, where one of them is just the first 3 floors and the second one is the 4th to 6th floor, and that central tower that's connecting them is really just an elevator, like a big ass elevator, and that the way the murderer kills Nekomaru is that he puts the Nekomaru on like the top floor of this elevator, puts the elevator down to the first floor, I'm not exactly sure the numbers, but basically, and then lets Nekomaru fall to his death by falling like 3 to 6 stories and also hitting a column, which was totally by luck. But I'm just like, okay, this elevator / central room has a roof, so how the hell did he fall to like the floor of this thing? Like, what happened to the roof? Because if you're gonna tell me there's no roof, then you would obviously know that this quote-unquote central room is not the same central room, because the roof is like 3 stories higher. So to me, it just doesn't make sense that Nekomaru was able to fall and not be like on top of this elevator. Or like, how is it possible that nobody realized that the roof should be higher? Maybe I missed something, because they talk a ton in this fucking series, but I don't think they did. I think they ignored the roof.
The thing that kind of pissed me off the most about this case is that Gundam Tanaka, the murderer, he didn't really care if he got persecuted. In the end, he like really wanted to get persecuted because he did all this to save his friends. So he wouldn't fight about anything in this murder trial. The only reason why he fought was, if anything, so like he's not a hypocrite being like, you can't just give up your life, or to defend his honor that he didn't have a gruesome duel to the death with Nekomaru, he had to protect his villain persona. So because Gundam didn't fight and there wasn't really any red herrings, we talked hours at length about the Octagon.
Oh my
and
god,
the final
so
dead room.
stupid.
And it's like, oh my god, when they said Octagon, they meant like a really dark alleyway with technically 8 sides. And oh my god, we had to look out the window. And it's like, we're spending hours talking about a building that doesn't make sense. And you're going to spend another hour talking about an elevator that goes so smoothly for like around the building that you couldn't even tell that we flipped.
Oh, that's what it did. I forgot about that.
So we're spending so much time talking about a building we saw only once. And I know Minty doesn't care about this, but I do think this case sucks because the motivation for killing was really terrible and the execution of the Gundam Tanaka was really terrible. Like, oh, Dongarongpa 1, we're gonna give you like really simple motives to kill to show like, you know, the depravity that human will go when pushed to the corner. In Dongarongpa 2, we will straight up murder you if you do not kill. It's like, I understand we need to do the whole case for, oh, the murderer was self-sacrificing, but fuck your themes and thematic. This case sucked, and in the end, Gundam sure did just stand there as he got trampled to death. I think he had the shortest execution too.
Case number 9, second worst from the bottom. Dongarongpa 2, case 3, when Mikan killed Ibuki and Hiyoko. Now, I'm okay with the whole part about killing out of quote-unquote out of order to create an alibi, messing with the cameras. Like, I thought all of that was pretty cool. I think I can't stand is the despair disease.
Can I go real fast about the order? But that part pissed me off because you know the order was, oh, Ibuki died first and then Hiyoko, because Hiyoko appeared after Ibuki. We didn't need the whole ass movie.
Oh yeah, the movie part was dumb.
We didn't need it. We didn't need the, obviously everyone watched this movie and we know the 3 murders. Like, fuck your movie.
Yeah, no, that was stupid.
But go on with your despair disease.
It's kind of like what Annie was saying before about like motivation for the case is kind of a big thing when it comes to judging, and I just feel like the despair disease made it, one, kind of obvious that it had to involve people with the despair disease. 2, the fact that they were hiding it was like, so you're just trying to add something extra just to shock people, but I don't really like that because it's kind of a cheap trick. Basically, that's it. The whole hospital thing, the whole 2 locations, it's just whatever.
The thing that pisses me off about the despair disease is that you had that to mirror Dongarongpa 1 case 3 with the whole Hifumi saying, oh, I remember everything because I got bonked on the head. And like, oh, Mika, I remember everything from my beloved. And it's like, what kind of cryptic bullshit is this? And I honestly hated the fact that Ibuki had the despair disease and like her thing was that she became super gullible because like, oh, this is the despair disease makes you the opposite. Like, hey sirs, hey ma'ams, what part of Ibuki is, oh, she's not usually gullible. Because like one of her famous lines is her thinking that Byakuya Togami can only speak pig because Hiyoko told her that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like near the end. It's like, I think Ibuki is hella gullible, y'all. Another thing is that Nagito, oh, he got the liar disease. It's like, Nagito tried to kill someone in case 1. I think he's kind of a liar.
When has he ever been truthful?
Like, I guess he was truthful when talking about his, like, values and beliefs, but I wouldn't call that truthful. Like, I don't say, oh, I believe in the Green Party. Like, oh, well, he's truthful.
Case number 8 of 10. Dongarongpa 1, case 5, Jungkook killing Mukuro. Kind of. I mean, yes and no.
I mean, Jungkook killed Mukuro because Junko's like, it wasn't fair that she was the only one who didn't feel despair in, you know, this whole school killing environment. So that's why she killed her twin sister.
It was just a very long case that didn't really amount to much.
It didn't amount to anything, did it?
That's why Annie didn't want me adding this to the list.
I didn't want you to add it to this list because in the end it was like, oh, okay, Nagito. No, I get Naegi and Nagito confused all the time. Naegi's the killer just because I said so. So bye-bye. It's like, hey, follow your own damn rules. He's not the Blackened, you know that. And then Kirigiri had to go in the trash to save Naegi.
You don't like Ramen Cup Kirigiri?
Ramen Cup Kirigiri is the most overrated shit I've ever seen. I don't like Kirigiri in general. I know she's supposed to be the kudere, but in the end, she just didn't have a personality.
How dare you?
And I know all Kirigiri fans is going to be like, you gotta read her light novels. I ain't reading shit. I don't care if the light novel is like number 1.
Really?
Yeah, she was number 1. She got like a bunch of sequels of like her growing up pubescent.
And being the daughter of the principal of Hope's Academy.
Her father, the one that experimented on Hajime and gave him giant boobs.
Okay, moving on.
I don't even know why you put this case here.
Because I can. Case number 7, Dongarongpa 1. Case 2, Mondo kills Chihiro. Got it. These damn chi names.
I mean, I'm curious, because this is the first one I think is like, wasn't the most batshit crazy case, so I'm surprised it got this low.
I don't really care for this case because it's like he killed Chihiro because like Chihiro kind of knew that he killed his brother. And then like, wasn't it somebody else who actually hung up Chihiro's body?
2 corrections. 1, he killed Chihiro because he was jealous that Chihiro was willing to share his secret and Mondo wasn't. So he killed Chihiro to protect his secret. Chihiro didn't know at all.
That makes it worse.
Look, there's a thematic about masculinity between Mondo and Chihiro. So if you want to get into that, we can. But yes,
No.
Togami, he found Chihiro's corpse.
Who's Togami?
Oh, sorry.
Byakuya.
Byakuya found Chihiro's corpse. I'm not sure how Togami got into the girls' bathroom, but yeah. And he was like, I'm gonna make this interesting by framing genocide as show. You know, the secret that Toko just told me. Yes, I'm not entertained enough. Guys, y'all, Byakuya's a bastard, man, okay?
Right, like, isn't that stupid?
The only Byakuya version I like is the fandom Byakuya, where he's nicer, but like, you guys all forget, he's a giant asshole. Oh, you gotta read his light novel. I don't want to read about his incest siblings, okay?
Oh, I don't want to know.
No one knows.
That's another thing. They introduce a serial killer and then they don't do anything with it? Like, come on.
I know, that pissed me off too. I like this case. I would put it in the top half.
Really?
It's just because I do like the idea of Mondo just being confused as fuck over the whole genocider Jack twist. It's just, oh, maybe I didn't kill Chihiro. Maybe I'm going to get away with the scot-free. The thing that really bites in the ass though is when like Taka's screaming, "Don't kill my friend! I said wait!" And then Mondo got turned into butter. And it's like kind of emotional whiplash here, don't you think? Also, I know a lot of people don't like it because they're very confused about the Chiaki gender storyline, but I don't Chihiro gender storyline, but I don't count points against it. I just count that points against Dongarongpa as a whole. Because it's like, yeah, you handled this trans story badly. I'm like, oh, it was never a trans story. Okay, but you can't deny when everyone found out Chihiro was a boy, they all freaked out and like kind of demonized him.
And this is like what, 2000?
Yeah.
It wasn't gonna be written well. To be fair, even written now, it probably wouldn't be written very well. Anyways, moving on to case number 6. Dongarongpa 1, case 4, Sakura killing herself.
I said this during Detective Conan. I'll say it now. If your case ends in suicide and you weren't framing someone, you're wasting my time.
Would it make you feel bad if she did frame someone?
Kinda. I love that case in Case Closed when he jumped on that ice cube with the knife in it so that it looked like that someone else stabbed him.
Kino.
Yeah. Like, I love that. But Sakura's like, hey, I'm gonna kill myself because I feel guilty about being the traitor even though I didn't do anything. And I'm not gonna leave a suicide note or anything.
She did create a locked room situation.
I guess, but she also got like attacked by 2 people beforehand. Did no one think they was going to bring that up during the trial?
No one. Sakura is a strong, independent woman who needs no attackers to weaken her.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say something super controversial. I think Sakura and Aoi is a very cute ship, and they did have like some budding interest in each other during Case 2, but like, I don't care for the ship. Like, don't get me wrong, as a critic, I feel like I have to separate things I like and things that are good.
Scandal.
I think the ship is very good and well written. I do not care for the ship. Just biased reasons.
You hate lesbians?
But I shit on this for a bit. Why don't you tell me why you put this here?
I mean, it's just middle of the road. I like a locked room. I guess a locked room suicide is not actually that interesting.
It's not. That's between Sakura and herself. I think it's funny she put the poison in her protein shake. Well, if I'm gonna kill myself, I'm gonna eat something I love.
Yeah, well, it's just middle of the road for me. It wasn't that great. It wasn't that bad. So, moving on to something we can talk about. Case number 5. Dongarongpa 2, Case 2, Pakoyama kills Mahiru.
I explain.
I guess this would be the case Annie would have put as number 1 for themselves.
Not necessarily, but go on.
I think it's cool that Pekko killed Mahiru Mahiru, and that she did it for Fuyuhiko, and that's pretty much it. But the things I don't like is that, I mean, this one's kind of like a little nitpicky. This one was just like the fact that it had to do with the game, and so then it was extremely obvious that the murderings had to do with something with the game, and that's only like 5 of like the 14 people that were left. The one thing that always bothered me about this case, and I brought this up when we first saw this, was like when everyone wanted to go to the beach and Pekko was already wet because she was like, I was swimming around in the ocean seeing if there was an island nearby that we could go to. And I'm like, if you could see an island, you could just walk along the edge, which would be faster than swimming. And 2, if you can't see an island from the land, there's no way you're gonna fucking swim there. Also, wait, wouldn't you see the other Jabberwock Islands?
You know, as a Pekko stan, as I get my degree out, I'm gonna say this. There's no reason for Pekko to say that because Pekko fucking loves swimming. The 2 times she completely bailed on Fuyuhiko was to attend to her love for the ocean. In the very first episode, or the prologue, everyone's like, hey, we got swimsuits for everyone, let's go swim in the ocean. Fuyuhiko stayed on land, Pekko fucking dipped. She was gone. Like, there's a picture of all them in swimsuits that people like to sexualize, but you can't sexualize Pekko because she's like a dot in the distance because she's fucking swimming her way out. Look, I think rating it in the middle just because the video game's doing a disservice. But I will say, it pisses me off no end how Danganronpa 2 has the worst motive to kill people. Like, poo poo poo. What if I told you all I made a video game where only realistically one person will be prompted to kill someone? And poo poo poo, what if that one person was the first one who played the game? Pisses me off to no fucking end. And I will, unbiasedly, I will say the Fuyuhiko and Pekko twist would have came out completely left field if you never did any of Pekko's free times. Cause just like, okay, so you guys like each other, but I'm gonna only know this for like 20 minutes before Pekko dies. And only if you look at Pekko's free time, like, I really care about this one dude. I will never say who, but if you keep asking me about it, Hajime, I will friendzone you so fucking hard. I didn't care for the Pekko being like, I only did it because I was a serial killer.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
I honest to God, I tuned that out every single time. Like, every time I see Pekko with that Sailor Moon whip-off mask, I honest to God think, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then we're gonna move on to the next case because I can go on about a bunch of, if you thought you could nitpick about this case, oh honey, in my head, there's like an abridged comic I would love to do, point out all the flaws in this case.
So stupid. Anyways, not to have you waste any more time. Case number 4. Dongarongpa 1. Case 1. Leon kills Sayaka. Look, I just like that Sayaka was totally up for killing, what's his name?
Leon.
No, the other one.
Oh, Naegi.
Wait, did you want to kill Leon or Naegi?
She wanted to kill Leon and frame Naegi.
Oh, I like that conviction on day 1 of this murder high school situation. And she tried real hard.
Real fucking hard.
But, I mean, she's a girl, so she had to die first. And then Leon just, like, totally murders her. And he tries to cover it up pretty well. It's just his ultimate talent kind of ruined it for him.
Not really.
Well, they were just like, who else could throw the trash into this incinerator that's super far away? The ultimate baseball player.
I guess, but the smoking gun of it all was still the name written on the
Well,
wall.
I mean, that was out of his control.
If he hit her harder, that wouldn't have been out of her control. Hey, come on, baseball boy, hit her harder.
If he had a non-English name that couldn't be written upside down in numbers.
I love Dongarongpa 2. It's like, someone really close to me wrote this to protect me. Like, bitch, she tried to frame you.
Like, did you forget that?
Just repress the bad ones.
So, I mean, these last are the best 4 that I like is more based on, like, the vibes than more on the details of the cases. Because, like I said, I think Sayaka had real strong convictions to not go through this shit anymore.
I wish Leon had a stronger personality. Like, the first killer of Dongarongpa, Terry, like, you got his jive in, like, a minute. Like, you always looked at him and remembered him. Like, oh, I don't like this munchkin. But with Leon, it's like, who? Oh, the only guy with a facial hair here.
To be fair, what's the point of getting attached to someone that's gonna die in the first case?
I guess, but man, I don't know if anyone's buying any Leon merch.
He looks like a pop star. Moving on, as you already said, case number 3, Dongarongpa 2, case 1, Teru kills Fat Byakuya.
I cannot believe you put the Nagito this high.
I put this one high because Nagito had a plan for murder.
So as the murder has a strong conviction for murder, You're just gonna give it to them.
Teru took the opportunity to be like, fuck you, Nagito. I'm blaming this all on you because you planned everything and everything points to you anyways. And so I'm just gonna take the murder for myself so that you can be blackened and I can leave.
The theme for all the first cases in Danganronpa is that the murderer took advantage of another person's murder plan.
So as much as I didn't like Teru, the man wasn't opportunistic.
I think it's funny that Pekko was allowed her sword, but Teru wasn't allowed his cooking equipment.
That Byakuya knew what he was doing.
I agree that case 1 of Danganronpa 2 is really good and solid. I will say from the top of my lungs, Danganronpa 2 started off strong and then the cases got worse and worse as it went on. But and I really do like Teru's execution.
That I don't care about that.
He turned into shrimp tempura.
Oh, okay. I don't give a fuck.
I think the thing that gets me is that Byakuya was so. If you knew Byakuya from the first game, right, and you saw him in the second game, he's like, I'm gonna be really nice for no reason, and then I'm going to die.
Because he's fat Byakuya.
Fat Byakuya. Fat. There's a fat phobic agenda in Danganronpa 2. But yeah, this case is like, I would rank it high too.
To be fair, Danganronpa 1 didn't even have any fat characters. Oh, wait, never mind.
You fool me, you. Hey, go. I cannot believe you put case 5 of Danganronpa 2 as either first or second.
Talking about fat characters, case number 2 of this 1 to 10 list is Danganronpa 1, case 3, Celeste kills Hifumi.
You put the Nagito Chiaki as number 1?
I'll talk about that later.
Okay, I know Minty is going purely based off vibes.
I just said that.
Because no one would put Danganronpa 1 case 3 this high. And she's like, I like the conviction Celeste had to murder.
I like that Celeste manipulated Hifumi to kill Taka and then killed Hifumi herself. She was the cause for 2 murders.
A lot of people don't like it because it was very obvious it was Celeste because she was acting OOC. And I'm like, nah, man, that's fine. You can act OOC. You don't have any evidence.
It's also kind of like, I guess if you talk to her in free time, maybe it felt weird. But I just feel like it's in Danganronpa, characters have the time to shine in different cases. So that's when you really get to see their personalities. But I'm also not paying attention, so I don't really know his OOC-ness unless it's Fat Byakuya.
Fat Byakuya.
Because that was a weight difference.
I do appreciate Celeste. She had everything planned. She was going to frame Hagakure. She was going to manipulate Hifumi and then kill him. And she had the whole hammer thing to mess up the timing. And the only thing that bit her in the ass was the fact that Hifumi remembered her name, which is something Celeste could never plan for. But, you know, look, I understand there's a lot of things going for it, but they're very weak compared to that. Like, you know how you said you like the Danganronpa 1 cast more than the Danganronpa 2 because everyone in Danganronpa 1 was mid, but in Danganronpa 2 they're either high or low on your shit list.
Right.
I feel like in this case everything was just mid and there was no highs or lows.
I like a double murder. The more people dead, the better. Anyways, so what I thought was the best case after reviewing all the 10 cases was Danganronpa 2, case 5. Technically, Chiaki killed Nagito.
I really like the conviction Nagito had.
I mean, honestly, yeah. I like that, like, okay, he planned everything out. He went through a whole bunch of red herring. I didn't really care for the whole chasing around the island for a fake bomb, but that was also to build time so he can set up his whole shit. And I like that he relied on his luck to try get Chiaki, the quote-unquote traitor or member of the Future Foundation, to be the killer, but have it so that way they would hopefully vote for the wrong person, so that way Chiaki could survive, everyone would die, and then Nagito, who was like a strong supporter of hope, would kill the remnants of despair.
Can I say something real fast? I don't know why this case really made me not like Sonya. I liked her relationship with Gundam, and then when Gundam left, you're stuck with this woman who teeters on the lines of being super useful and being a super dumb piece of shit.
I've never seen her as useful.
Because she knew the whole... She's smart. That's why she knew all about the serial killers in case 2. And this is her learning about the bombs and figuring out that it was just fireworks, right? And then during the whole case, it's like, yes, I was pooping. And it's like, what the fuck? And, like, there's so many weird sexual jokes they did with her. Like, I don't blame Sonya. I blame the writers. But at one point, you can't separate the writers and the characters anymore. God, Sonya's such a bad character. I don't know why Kazuichi wants to stop that.
But she's cute.
And then Kazuichi talks more in this case. I'm like, oh my god. So that's why case 5 is like, it's not really anything against Nagito. Like, I understand you did 20 million things for this murder. And, you know, like, good on you. When I first read about this on the wiki in 2017, I thought it was stupid. But watch it play out in real time, it was actually pretty clever, and, you know, kudos for abusing the shit out of that final dead room. By getting a lance, or I think he got that somewhere else actually, but he got the poison, he got all the fucking records. But like all the other characters was just stupid, and I hated the hour-long talk of Chiaki being like, "Yep, it's me, just vote for me," and Sonia and Connor's like, "Oh, wait, we can't be too rash. Let's talk about this." I can't believe this is your number one.
Look, I don't like Kazuichi or Akane either. Or Sonya, really. But you gotta get... And I don't even like Nagito. We gotta give it to Nagito. The man had a plan and executed to almost pure perfection. I mean, literally everything basically went his way. He was just unable to predict, like, Chiaki was gonna out herself.
Yeah, he did not anticipate how much she wanted Hajime's dick.
So, this is the official FunUntitled ranking from best to worst of the Dongarongpa 1 to 2 cases with no input from Annie.
Oh, bullshit, may I just add, because I remember the cases more than Minty.
Okay, real quick, what would you put as your worst and best cases?
The worst case, as much as I did not like case 4 for Dongarongpa 2, I still think I have to give it to case 3 for being the worst. Just because, like...
The roof? You still can't explain to me the roof?
I can't explain the roof, but I accept the fact that they won't explain the roof. I will not accept the fact that in Dongarongpa 2, case 3, they were like, oh, the door had to be locked, and oh, there's a movie. Like, there's so many useless elements compared to the roof.
The roof was a critical point to the story that ruins everything.
The best case, like, I probably would have given it to Dongarongpa 2 case 1, honestly. But as the second would guarantee Dongarongpa 2 case 2, you fucker.
Anyways, again, Annie's opinions doesn't count.
F you.